Yesterday I told you I think that we made a mistake, 'cause you and I, we lost our sight. It's all about give and take. I don't wanna see when you're at parties with Ollie and the others. You know I really got along with him and your family. Your ex got barely saw. Did we do it right? You know, no. Did we speak from our hearts so we could make it right without a fight? You know, no. Imagine what would happen if we did it right. You got me spinning round, round. 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 I'm standing here in plain sight. Still it doesn't seem like you see me. I hate everything about this night. Doesn't matter what I do can get to you. I don't wanna see when you're at parties with Ollie and the others. You know I really got along with him and your family. Your ex got barely saw. Did we do it right? You know, no. Did we speak from our hearts so we could make it right without a fight? You know, no. Imagine what would happen if we did it right. You got me spinning round, round. 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 Why can't we just be honest? Why can't we just be honest? You know, no. Did we speak from our hearts so we could make it right without a fight? You know, no. Imagine what would happen if we did it right. You got me spinning round, round. 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 Why can't we just be honest? Why can't we just be honest? You got me spinning round, round. Yesterday I told you I think that we made a mistake, 'cause you and I, we lost our sight. It's all about give and take. I don't wanna see when you're at parties with Ollie and the others. You know I really got along with him and your family. Your ex got barely saw. Did we do it right? You know, no. Did we speak from our hearts so we could make it right without a fight? You know, no. Imagine what would happen if we did it right. You got me spinning round, round. 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 I'm standing here in plain sight. Still it doesn't seem like you see me. I hate everything about this night. Doesn't matter what I do can get to you. I don't wanna see when you're at parties with Ollie and the others. You know I really got along with him and your family. Your ex got barely saw. Did we do it right? You know, no. Did we speak from our hearts so we could make it right without a fight? You know, no.
This week, I left the volume way too loud. Hey, this is Roy Richardson, the One Off Technology Podcast, and I am your friendly neighborhood tech troublemaker. This week, the trouble I'm going to cause is all about Windows 11. And then we'll also talk about Apple and Android devices and how long should you be able to update them and how long should you be able to repair them. So, let's get started. So, on the Windows 11 front, in case you don't know it, Windows 11 is coming out October 5th. Yes, October 5th, 2021. So, say what? Wait, Windows 11? I'm running Windows 10. I got the latest updates. Windows 11's coming out? Yes, it is. And if you already are a home user of Windows 10, you can upgrade to Windows 11 for free if. And that's the big if. Will my computer run Windows 11? Yeah, that's the question. Will my computer run Windows 11? So let's look at that. Can your computer run Windows 11? Let's see. So here we go. This is, hey, pretty website. Pretty website. How about Windows 11? Hey, Windows 11. Just keep scrolling. You really have to go a long way. All right. So if your computer, the processor on it is a 64-bit processor, it is 1 gigahertz or faster with at least 2 or more cores, and pretty much any computer you've bought in the last 5 years potentially can do that. It says you should have at least 4 gig of RAM. Yes, you can run Windows with 4 gig of RAM, but I recommend at least 8. I'm just going to say. And then storage, it says 64 gig. So here it says, hey, 64 gig or larger. The operating system almost takes up 64 gig. I don't know, it doesn't really take up 64 gig, but that's kind of small. And then the other thing is that your computer is going to have to be able to support Trusted Platform Module 2.0. What does that mean? So over the last few years, chip makers have been putting a chip called a TPM chip onto many computers. It gives you the ability to secure the operating system to the point where you can do encryption, and also it's supposed to make sure that the software can't necessarily be counterfeited, but it's more geared toward encryption and that type of thing. So most computers made in the last 5 years have had TPM. You may not have the latest version. It needs to be upgraded perhaps. Then your computer has to be able to support DirectX 12 and WDDM 2.x. Now I'm going to show you here in a minute how to get there, and then it says your minimum resolution needs to be 720p. So, well, that's kind of small, but yeah, think about it, TVs, 1080p, that type of thing. So yes, and then it requires an internet connection, and you have to have a Microsoft account. So with Windows 10, when you did the initial install, there was a place where you had an opportunity. Basically, if you disconnect the network and installed Windows 10, it wouldn't make you have to tie it to a Microsoft account. Now later on, if you want to keep settings and that type of thing, you wind up having to kind of connect to a Microsoft account. But I don't know clearly yet whether you can get away with that with Windows 11. I'm hoping it's true. You shouldn't have to tie it to a Microsoft account. There is a lot of cool stuff that having a Microsoft account gets you. For example, it can sync in with your email. It can sync up your bookmarks, that type of thing. The same thing you can accomplish by logging into your Microsoft account in Edge. But it can save that desktop background, so you log into another desktop theoretically. It'll load the background, that type of stuff. So there is some functionality if you change around computers a lot and you have 3 or 4 computers or 2 or 3 computers and you want the same settings on both and access everything. But for most people, But the catch is that, wow, literally there is an entire page that talks about all the processors, AMD processors that are supported in Intel. So in case you don't know, the predominant processors for Windows-based computers is either Intel or AMD. There's also Atom processors. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So anyway, here's the whole list. And so my recommendation is that you go and you look through this list and see if your processor can support it. I will put all these links in the show description so that you can go out there and click on these links and go find out, will my computer run Windows 11? Now, the sad part is that in the past, they've had a utility where you could check and see if your computer would run Windows 10. But they have not released it yet. It's a PC health check utility. It will tell you if your computer runs Windows 10. And now we're waiting on the health check utility that says that your computer runs Windows 11. Here it is. We are less than a month away from Windows 11 coming out. And you can't even verify beyond a shadow of a doubt that your computer will run on Windows 11. That check tool will also tell you if certain apps are going to have any problems. Like, for example, when Windows 10 came out, I was running an old version of McAfee, and it said, dude, this McAfee antivirus ain't going to make the jump to light speed when I go to Windows 10. So you're going to have to do something like that in order to get around that and fix it. Now, you're probably saying, well, so what does this Windows 11 look like? And if I've said Windows 10 interchangeably, I'm sorry. It's Windows 11 we're talking about. But, you know, if you're in Windows 10 now, October 5th, you will slowly get an option to download Windows 11 and install it on your computer. It's more likely going to be distributed through Windows Update. So, yes. But the question is, can you run your computer? And Microsoft is saying that some computers may get upgraded, but they won't get updates because they don't have a processor that's quite compatible enough. So, wait a minute, Microsoft. Do not install Windows 11 on my computer if my computer won't run it. You need to check and tell me, can my computer run it? So hopefully, you know, the PC health tool, health check app will be out there before we all go run off and start doing Windows 11. Now, you want to see what Windows 11 looks like? So let's take a look. This is what Windows 11 looks like. So here it is. Notice the start menu here at the bottom. Wow. If you're familiar with a Mac, this looks an awful lot like the dock on a Mac. Here it is though, unfortunately, well, so unlike a Mac, you don't really have a start button on a Mac, but here it is. You pin your favorite apps to the bottom here. It pinned a lot of them for me already. The only one I added was Notepad++ and Firefox. Here's what the start menu looks like. So it shows you all the apps. If you want to see all the apps, you have to click on all apps, and like in Windows 10, they're all in loosely in alphabetical order, so you can scroll through and take a look and say, hey, okay, let me see here what apps I want to run. If you're like me, I get so tired of menus that I literally type in search what I want all the time and run it. So it pulls it up. I don't know. It's just something I do. I spend a lot of time in other OSs that are command line based, and so being able to just type in what I want real quick and search and have it pop up comes in really handy. Now, so let's talk about a couple of preliminary things that you can do now to see if your computer is going to run Windows 11. So Diag. So on your computer, you can go start run and run this command, Diag. This is a Windows utility that's mainly focused on checking to see if your drivers on your computer, the things that make your devices work, are digitally signed, and also to tell you basic specs about DirectX, which is utilized a lot for gaming and also for basic video functions. So we'll run it. This device technically isn't compatible to run Windows 11, but I'm running it. And the first time you run it, it's going to pop up and ask you, do you want it to verify that your drivers are digitally signed? I said no, because what will happen is if you happen to have a device already installed and the driver wasn't digitally signed, it will disable that. So don't do that. All right, so here, if we go here to the basic requirements, it says it's got to be able to run DirectX 12 and WDDM 2.0. So here we are. This has DirectX 12, so it supports DirectX 12. So that's what you want to look for. You want to see the minimum amount of memory. So I have 4 gig of memory in this. I'm running out of Mac, so I'm cheating, okay? But anyway, and so if I go to display settings, here WDDM is 1.3. So technically, this isn't supposed to be running Windows 11. Now, through some magic, that's why I'm running Windows 11. But the point being is that later on I might not be able. I'm running a preview version of Windows 11, so that's kind of why I'm getting away with a little bit of trickery there and getting past that. But I actually, and so when you run Diag on your computer, you go to the display tab and you're looking to see specifically what driver model, and it has to be WDDM 2 point something. So those are two indications right there if your computer will be able to run Windows 11. Then the other things, of course, will be how much disk space you have available. Remember, it said you need to have 64 gig available. So hopefully your computer has a drive bigger than 64 gig already. And you want to have a processor that's at least 1 gigahertz with multiple cores. This one has technically 4 cores. A little fake out there, but it thinks it has 4 cores. Again, I'm running this on a Mac, so I'm cheating here, but this is what Windows 11 looks like, and so that's what you should be able to do. So your homework assignment from here is go run Diag and see what version of DirectX you're running, see how much CPU and how much memory you have, and see if you have that WDDM at least 2 point something. That's going to give you a pretty good indication if, when the PC Health Check app becomes available, which should be shortly, if your computer will run Windows 11. Now, I'm not saying as soon as Windows 11 comes out, you should run for it. In fact, you should not. You should not go and install Windows 11 unless you are one of those brave souls. Why? Because often, as new versions of the operating system come out, some of our favorite devices get left on the side of the road. For example, HP printers are notorious for older HP printers getting just dropped off support when the latest version of Windows comes out. So that means that you may be very sad. You may be very sad because Windows 11 is not going to support you on your devices. You may have a camera. Oh man, my camera doesn't work because, maybe a webcam or something. You may have a scanner. Whatever your favorite device is, you need to know before you go to Windows 11 that it's going to work on Windows 11 and that there's going to be a driver available for it. So wait, be patient, but do the homework ahead of time and find out if, when you're ready for Windows 11, that your computer is going to support it. So again, I'm going to have this posted links out there so you can go look and say, hey, will my computer run it? And you look and make sure your processor's on the list and that type of thing. So hey, I got some comments out here. Let's take a look here and see. Wake up. Okay, Michael says, wow, that looks bad. Let's get that moved up where I can actually see it. Hello. All right, Michael says, Linus Tech Tips did a workaround and proved you can run on i6 and i4, I think. Hang on. Come back. Okay. Well, I need to change the background color on my comments, obviously. There we go. Anyone ain't noticeable issues? It's a way for Windows to tweak your computer's companies and make you buy a PC. Yes, he's talking specifically about the TPM chip. So Windows supposedly will not run without that TPM chip installed. And so it actually causes difficulties for other operating systems. But there is some hackery you can do for brave souls that really feel like they need to do that to get around that TPM chip requirement. But trusted computer model, what that was all about was, to make sure that it was a way to try to hopefully make sure your computer couldn't be infected with viruses and stuff. It has failed miserably at that. It also was an attempt on Microsoft to kind of make sure you didn't go off and steal a copy of their operating system. But now they make so much money from cloud and from selling you Microsoft Office subscriptions that they're getting kind of lax. Where, hey, here, just have Windows because we know you can't do anything without us. So you're gonna buy something from us sooner or later. Them's the breaks. Big Red says, wow, I really gotta work on my colors there. Not being able to check a requirement seems like a marketing scene to make you pay more for the ability to update. Yes, it can indeed feel that way. It does definitely feel that way. Lala, hey Lala, coming in a bit late. We'll rewatch on this replay the stuff I missed. Right on, whatever you get here, you're right on time. That's all that matters. Don't install Windows 11 right away. Find out if your computer can run it. Run Diag, to see if you meet the minimum requirements. And yeah, so good stuff there. I'm sorry, Michael, I missed a comment you made earlier. It says, when they said an i7 or above would only run it, Linus Tech Tips proved you could go pretty back far and still be able to run it. Yeah, Windows 11 will run on older processors. It absolutely will. But, you know, it's kind of like if you ever went with the minimum requirements for Windows. Yes, Windows says it will run in 4 gig of memory, but if you ever cranked up Chrome, and Chrome went off and took 2 gig of your memory because you have 14 extensions installed, you find out pretty quick that it's not a happy life. Definitely not a happy life there, because it's not a wonderful performance thing. So, man, you know, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? So, all right. Anyway, there you go. That's my talk about Windows 11. I have been enjoying kind of playing around Windows 11. The reason I'm running it is because I teach part-time, and sometimes I need to demonstrate stuff that runs on Windows, unfortunately. So my favorite app on Windows is Notepad++. You guys out there, if you know anybody that works at Notepad++, I'm sure people have been begging them for years. Could you please port it to Mac? I don't need it on Linux though. I can do VI on Linux, so I don't really need it. But all that to say, that's life. You know, if you have an app you fall in love with, you get crazy when it won't work. It's like, for example, when I had an Android phone, I had tons of apps I was in love with, and they just didn't exist on iPhone. And then apps came out for iPhone that never made it Android. I digress. I could complain for a while. And what does that give you? Nothing. Go your homework, do Diag, make sure your computer's going to be able to run. All right. Next up, your cell phone. Let's talk about your cell phone. We'll call this, ta-da, Chapter 2. Yeah, I know. I like chapters. I like separation here, so it's Chapter 2. Tell me, how long should your cell phone last? Really? I mean, how long should your cell phone last? I mean, for example, I find that iPhone devices seem to last a long time, but Android devices, with the exception of the Samsung phones that have come out the last few years, you get 18 months, because then the battery just kind of stops being what it should be. You know, if I can't get a full day out of a battery charge, I feel very much like my phone has let me down. So I want a full day on a battery charge. Is that too much to ask? Really? Is that too much to ask? But as our phones get older, it gets where it just doesn't make it through the day anymore. And so the question comes about, should you be able to replace the parts on your phone? Should you? And should cell phone companies be required to give you updates, especially security updates, for however long you have the phone? How long is a reasonable amount of time? So the German government is lobbying with the EU, wanting to pass a resolution that would say your phone has to be supported for 7 years, that you are to get security updates for 7 years of that life, so 7 years of a phone. And then the second part of that is that you should have the right to repair your phone for 7 years, and the phone makers should provide the parts or have them available for you to order from them. They're even saying the parts have to be shipped within 7 days. So these are things that they're talking about and trying to figure out what makes sense as far as cell phones go. Now, there's some phones I've had, I wouldn't want to repair them after 2 years. In fact, I'm glad when they die sometimes. But I have to admit, over the last 5 years, cell phones have been a lot more reliable for me and last a lot longer. Of course, the first thing I do is I go buy a case. And luckily cases have dropped dramatically in price. And so I'll get a case for my phone, and because I'm going to drop phones. I don't know about you, but I drop phones. How long do you think cell phone providers should continue to provide updates, and how long should they make it possible for you to repair your phone? What do you think? I did a non-scientific survey today, so sorry, this isn't a scientific survey. Let's see if I got any new responses before I started. Certainly not enough responses to make this very scientific, but 7 folks that are friends of mine said, hey, yeah. So my first question is how long should Apple update your iPhone? How long? So the winner was 5 years. So when we say update, we're saying at a minimum, security updates. The security updates should be released for your phone up to that many years. So a lot of folks said, second runner-up was 4 years. People said 4 years, people should be able to get updates from Apple for their phone. My next question was, how long should Apple allow me to repair my phone? So top answer there we got was, as long as I'm willing to pay for repair for it after warranty. So that was the top winner. Second runner up, forever. You should get security updates forever. Okay, and then I asked about how long Android providers should update your phone. So the winner is kind of a pretty even split here. We got 4 years, 5 years, and 7 years, and then forever. So obviously people feel very strongly that Android should update their phone forever. I'll give you an example. I had a Samsung Galaxy 8. Great phone, absolutely loved it, but they stopped providing updates for it. I mean, Samsung was providing some security updates, and I'll have to admit, even till the day I turned it off, Samsung did make an effort to provide updates. But it was very sad because I felt like I'd been left on the side of the road. I couldn't get the latest version of Android OS, and I wanted the latest version. There was a couple features. In fact, often what I would do is I'd go wait till somebody ported the features to an app, and then I'd download that app to give my older phone those Android features. That was the cool thing about Android, is that Androids are so customizable that you could do things like that. You could sideload apps and stuff like that. You can't do that in the walled garden of iPhone. On the flip side, theoretically, your phone is less susceptible to viruses and that type of thing if you can't sideload apps into your Apple device. So, my next question, how long should Android providers allow me to repair my phone? So the big winner here was as long as I'm willing to pay for initial warranty. And then second runner up was until it's dead. I mean, there you go. And here's my another question. How long should my Android phone warranty be? Majority said 1 year. What do you think about that? 1 year? Is that reasonable? Think about how much these cell phone devices cost now. You can't buy what they call the premium phones for less than, well, with the exception of the Google Pixel 5, which is actually a pretty good phone for around $500. And if you go with Google Fi at the low end of $15 a month, that's pretty reasonable in this day and age when you consider the fact that it's gonna be $1,100 to buy the top end iPhone. $1,100, $1,200 to get like an iPhone 12 Pro Max. Yikes, 12, especially if you get 256 gig of storage. That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of money for a device. And to only get 1 year factory warranty. Now granted, we're not nice to our phones. We drop them, we carry them, we look at the screens constantly. If you handled any device in your house other than your phone at this level, would you have that expectation that it would last, that it should more than a year, that it should have a warranty longer than a year? And then for iPhone, most people said an iPhone should have a 1 year warranty. Second runner up, 3 years. My experience with phones is that the first 2 years are the best you're going to get out of any phone. I don't know if your experience has been the same, but that's been my experience. Is at 2 years. I've had 2 phones that lasted me almost a third year. And it's really amazing. There are people out there still with iPhone 4s that are still in use and still work. So obviously Apple does a pretty good job of making devices. They should be willing, especially for the amount of money phones cost, to give us a better warranty. What do you think? Okay. And I'm not showing my screen, so you guys missed all my pretty charts and graphs. let's go back to pretty charts and graphs time. I'll go quick. How long should Apple update my phone? 5 years was the winner. How long should Apple allow me to repair my iPhone? As long as I'm willing to pay for repair after warranty. How long should Android providers update my phone? And this was the one that was a kind of even here. 2 years, let's say 4 years, 5 years, and 7 years. And then how long should Android providers allow me to repair my phone? The winner there was as long as I'm willing to pay for it after warranty. And then how long should my Android phone warranty be? 1 year was the top winner. That's the one I have a little trouble with. The others I kind of, okay, I can see that. How long should my iPhone warranty be? 1 year. So, interesting, isn't it? Hey, Sammy Superstar, thanks for coming by. Big Red. Again, I gotta change the color on my comments, obviously. Okay, Big Red says, the Apple Store makes a killing repairing phones for silly things that most halfway computer literate person could do. That's crazy. Okay, I actually broke an iPhone 4 trying to replace the screen, so you may be more nimble at repairs than I am. So I'm jealous if you are. But anyway, Mommy Guide says as long as the phone's alive. So there. What is your take on this? Where should we be on our phones? Should, as Germany is pushing, be able to get companies to force them to do updates for 7 years and allow us to buy parts for them for 7 years beyond even just the battery and screen? You know, because the companies are saying, well, we're willing to sell the screen, we're willing to sell the battery, maybe up to 7 years. But there's a big lobbying group of Samsung, Google, and Apple in the UK, in Europe, that is actually lobbying to say, how about 3 years? 7 seems excessive. I don't know. I don't want these guys to win because I don't want consumers to lose. There's got to be that happy medium for both us as consumers and the tech companies as well. They want to make a profit, so what's reasonable? And if we're having to pay for the parts, you know, it's kind of like cars. Cars, for example, have a period of time, I think it's 15 years, I have to go, if somebody wants to check my numbers there, where they have to make parts available for a car for so many years after the car is manufactured. So maybe it's time for our mobile devices to have that same kind of coverage. Maybe. What do you think? That's it. That's it for today's episode of the One Off Technology Podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that came by. If you are watching on the replay, I would love you to leave me a comment, ask a question. I will reply back. I reply to all my comments in some form or fashion. Also, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, I would really appreciate you subscribe. And go ahead and ring the bell so that you get notified when I go live. And I thank everybody that came by. What can I do? Drop me a line. I'm out there on social media, so let's be social. You can follow me out there on Twitter and on Facebook, Tech Trouble MKR. Again, I couldn't buy the extra vowels. I really wanted to, but they wouldn't let me. You know, hey, let me show you my page. So here I am on Facebook. This is me, the Tech Troublemaker. So go find me out there on Facebook and hit the like button there and follow me. And then here I am on Twitter. I would say I need to update my profile. What should I put on my profile? Tell me in the comments or send me a tweet and tell me, hey, send me a DM. Hey, dude, your profile on Twitter's bad and it needs this. It really does. You really shouldn't do that. You should do this. Right. So I love your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming by. And, you know, it was great. I like talking again. Go test out and see if your computer will run Windows 11. That Diag, go run that. Remember, what it's looking for is DirectX 12, WDBM2.x, at least a 1 gigahertz processor with at least 2 or more cores. One way to find that out is, here's the thing, they've hidden Task Manager in Windows 11. They don't want you to find it very easy for some reason. But you can go here to Performance and CPU, and here it will tell you how many sockets or cores you have. That's where you need to make sure that you have at least 2. Because I'm virtualized, it's kind of a weird thing, but there you go. You find out mine's running at 3.2 gigahertz, and yeah, so how much memory you have. This says 4 gig to run, so if you have at least 4 gig, it will run. I strongly encourage you to have at least 8 before you go to Windows 11, because like I said, have you ever seen Chrome or Edge fully populated with 25 tabs? Okay, I am guilty. I confess, I often have too many tabs open. And again, I'm not showing you the cool stuff. All right, here we go. CPU, this is where you go right here. So get Task Manager to come up, and it will show you, you're looking for how many cores it has. Mine doesn't show cores, it's showing sockets, but it'll show you how many cores it has. And then under memory, look and see how much memory you have. I have 4 gig. In mine again, I recommend more. How much disk space you got, you know. Yeah, so there you go. That's my tech tip for today. And I do like the interface for Windows 11. Again, it reminds me very much of a Mac. So I'm kind of excited when all my work computers and all the family computers get all upgraded to Windows 11. But again, gotta make sure they're gonna run it. There we go. All right, I have jabbered on enough. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for coming by. And it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Again, One Off Technology Podcast, Roy Richardson, the Tech Troublemaker. Bye. This is the One Off Technology Podcast with your host, Roy Richardson. Each week we cover topics in the news and how they affect you. Sit back, relax, and open your mind. Bye.